seeing a little bit of profit taking coming to the fore. The NSE 20 down 0.8%. Yesterday we were up 0.25%. Do you expect a bearish trend to continue for the rest of the week?
I agree, Elena, because we've seen at least an increase in volumes, maybe slightly lower than yesterday, but it can be seen that yes, the market has been on the upward, and right now we're experiencing some profit taking. But as to whether we expect that to continue is something I really doubt, because normally this happens just before most of the, especially financial institutions do announce their quarter results. And we've seen a number of banks announcing their 9-year month results. And of course, there's normally a lot of speculation, and maybe preceding that, that's why we've been seeing a lot of profit taking. So going forward, I see a situation whereby there's going to be reduced profit taking.
Well, just looking at the NSE 20 and where you peg the NSE 20 by the end of the year, some are very hopeful and say that we could see another 15% increase for the bourse. We know that year to date it's come up by around 45%. Where do you think we're going to go from here onwards? Do you think perhaps we could oscillate at these levels?
Okay, talking about banks, yeah, we definitely still anticipating to see double digits growth in profits, because as you can see, the economy is now vibrant. There's a lot of infrastructure development projects going on, and this, of course, is helping the flow of money in the economy. And of course, there is increased confidence in the economy, and that's why we've seen that banks have started lending out more than they did before. And that's why you see banks like National Bank having reported huge income from interest, interest alone, meaning their loan book has grown for the last 9 months compared to the previous year. And
yeah, Fred, let's zoom into those numbers from the National Bank of Kenya. 39% jump in pre-tax profit. We've got loans and advances rising 44%. Interest income also much higher. I mean, just basing that against the likes of Standard Chartered Bank, which reported a 19% rise in pre-tax profit for the 9 months to September. It seems that some banks are doing far better than others.
Yeah, agreed. Standard Chartered has always been a very conservative bank, and that's why you'll be able to recall that during the economic meltdown, you could see that Standard Chartered was the performer, and it did way above all the other banks, which means that it always takes a conservative view of the market, and it's trying to change from that, of course, with just recent acquisition of Barclays Custody. So the reason explainable to this is, of course, that Standard Chartered is always conservative. When they do their lending, they have very high net clients who they lend to. And of course, with these clients, there's reduced risk. And so there's only minimum interest income that you can be able to squeeze from such a clients.
Well, I mean, just looking at the custody business that they are looking at buying from Barclays Bank, is this a reason enough to perhaps buy into Standard Chartered Bank? Do you think that it's going to be a nice push for the top line?
Agreed. Yeah. We've been monitoring the whole transaction from the rights issue process up to now. Once they've already acquired this particular business, and it's quite huge amount of assets held in this custody business. We are talking of maybe close to over 40 billion Kenyan shillings. And with that volume, of course, you anticipate fees in the tune of $500 million Kenyan shillings. So definitely, this gives a very good reason and a very good indication that, yeah, it's a buy, because the payback period for the amount they have used to purchase the business is close to like 3.5 years. And definitely, those profits will start rolling back to the shareholders in the next 3 years. So from my view, it's a buy. It's a buy stock.
Fred, we know that Safaricom, of course, has the biggest weighting on the NSE 20. Do you think that much of the market direction is dependent on the third quarter numbers from Safaricom, which is set to be released next week? Or do you think that movements in other sectors and other stocks could perhaps help boost the market even further from here, and perhaps setting aside the movements on Safaricom?
Yes, I agree. The weighting is massive, and definitely the impact on the market is very huge. We saw this even from the IPO time when it came to the market. There's quite, a lot of influence coming from the counter, and I agree that given the weighting, of course, it's likely to drag the market just downwards. Of course, in the event that whatever happens, whatever they do announce, or what we speculate they might be able to announce. So based on the results that they will announce, definitely will have an impact on the market.
In terms of stock picks going forward, Fred, you know, we keep hearing that perhaps some of the industrial counters looking far more attractive than the banks because the banks have run quite extensively. Where are you putting your money right now?
Okay, I will put my money on the industrial. We've seen the likes of at River Mining go up from highs of from lows of 100 shillings to over 150 shillings within a very short span. So industrials, given that of course the construction industry and the industrial sector in general is very vibrant, and therefore I'll focus more on the industrial, and of course I'll be split between the financials as well, because going forward we still really anticipate the financials to do well. So I'll really be split between industrial sectors and industrial sector and the financial.